remember the main event?
Oh, wow, yeah.
His dunks were equivalent to Mike Tyson knocking the dude out. When Mike Tyson went boom and the dude fall, that crowd, every dunk was like...
Let the world know the name, man. Streetball king, bringing pride to the game. From Lennon to Elizabeth, Jersey's vein. Main event, forever etched in domain again.
Yo, what up, what up, what up? This Certified Legend Main Event, and I'm here on the couch at Main Event and Friends, the Main Event podcast. I'm with a special guest. You always hear me use that word certified. Yeah, not just a legend, certified. One of the originators, my brother, the OG's OG, Mr. himself, Al Cash. Peace, my brother.
What's good?
How you doing?
So far, so good.
I think I said the name right, but for those that don't know you, give them your name and where you from.
All right, well, I go by the name of Al Cash, and I'm from Harlem, New York. And I've been doing a lot of different things, hip hop, street basketball. I played, commentated, and just for the record, I'm one of the founders of the Entertainers Basketball Classic at Rucker Park.
Did y'all hear that? One of the founders of the Entertainment Basketball Classic at Rucker Park, the legendary EBC 155th and A5 to be correct in Harlem. For those that don't know, I was blessed over the years to meet what a lot know is the announcer at Rucker Park. Oh, that's one of the guys that gave guys their name. But I was blessed to be able to meet Al Cash off the Blacktop. Can you explain what's a young Al Cash?
Well,
8, 9, growing up, did you grow up in the city?
Yeah, I grew up in Harlem, and before Al Cash, it was Al B.
Al B.
It was Al B. And, I'm one of Harlem's first hip-hop DJs. And, I did everything that a normal 13 or 12-year-old would do. As far as play basketball, football, baseball. We used to do it all in one day in Drew Hamilton projects.
And you said, to be correct, you said one of Harlem's first DJs?
Yeah. One of Harlem's first hip hop DJs, yeah.
That's we have to know our history to really appreciate the person and their journey. But go ahead.
Yeah, so actually I had a crew by the name of the Sapphire crew, and at the time, I want to say 74, 75. We was from 74 to 75 to about, to the 80s, early 90s, we was the biggest hip hop crew in Harlem. And, what's so funny is...
now, what other crews was around during this time?
Okay,
so I want to take the people on a journey, like...
Okay, so my crew was DJ Al B, which was me. Then you had DJ Donald D, the original, and then you had B Fats. During our journey, when MCs came along, we put a group together by the name of the Disco 4, which featured Greg Marriage, which is the commissioner of the Entertainers Basketball Classic, EBC at Rucker Park, along with, 4 other members. But you had other groups that came up behind us, Treacherous 3, shout out to Magnificent 7, Master Don and the Deaf Committee, Fearless 4. A lot of those guys, and I'm going to keep it 100, they come to me behind the scenes. And when they had the 50th anniversary and all that stuff, they always say how Harlem wasn't recognized, and what it is, so I'm back and forth, I'm in Atlanta and I'm in New York. And at the time when they was putting this all together, and this is just my opinion, it was nobody there to represent Harlem, to talk to the people, from the Hip Hop Museum, like Rocky and them, that's all my people, Van Silk, all of them,
Why is that?
It's always been, I'm gonna keep it 100. I think, in my opinion, it was a little bit of, they call Harlem Cats arrogance. So maybe our arrogance stopped us from being involved with certain things. But if you really know anything about Harlem hip hop, a lot of the producers have come from Harlem
I
that
didn't know that.
produce hip hop records. You know, man, like so many. I mean, I can jump to this, and a lot of people don't know this. All right, so you got the Diplomats, and I'm going more current, you know,
Yes.
second generation hip hop. And they eventually called themselves Dipset. That started in my bedroom. No, excuse me. That started in my apartment in Esplanade Garden.
You talking about Cameron, Joel Santana? You talking about Dipset? Harlem Dipset.
Right.
Pink Horsepower Dipset.
Yeah.
That started in your apartment.
Yeah. Cam and my nephew Digger Dow Branch.
Oh, Digger. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the connection.
Right. That's my nephew. And when I kind of stopped DJing and making music and stuff, the equipment was in the house. My nephew lived with me. So he basically taught himself. Of course, I had to teach him a little things. And, I know Cam forever. Digger and Cam, they went to school, same schools, grew up. I knew Cam moms. We definitely was close. And eventually, my nephew and them, they got a deal. And they represented Harlem hard.
Still to this day, you see Digger and Cam. So a lot of people may not know that story, but it makes sense now because he's right there, right, left, right. They're right together. So salute to Cam, salute to Digger, the whole Dipset.
Yeah, all of them. Big Al, Herb
McGruff. Rest in peace. Yeah, Big Al. Herb McGruff. Wow.
Yeah. That's one of my favorites out of that crew. And to be honest, like Jim Jones and them came a little later on. But Jim, like I see all this stuff on social media, Cam and them beefing, I wish it wasn't like that. But Jim Jones, he represent. And then shout out to Max B.
Welcome home. The wave is back.
Little Charlie.
Little Charlie.
Yo, you know what's so funny? Like, me and his family is close. His aunts, his moms, his uncle Greg, Greg, and the thing was, when we were playing in 139th Street, it was this little pesky kid with his brother, Michael. And it was Charlie. It was Max B and his brother. And actually, I got footage of him when he was little. You know what I'm saying? And he went through whatever he went through. And, me and the family, like I said, we close. We lived in the same building in Drew Hamilton. But it's just amazing to see, he went through whatever, but he's back home now, and they're showing him a lot of love.
Got another chance.
Yeah, they're showing him a lot of love. But getting back to the DJ stuff.
Why DJ? Like, what was your other options at that age that you chose to be a DJ? Was that what was popular?
Yo, be honest, I wanted to be a hustler. You understand? Because where I come from, that's what it's about. We used to play ball in the park, and certain individuals used to pull up in their cars, and like people talk about the bling bling. They had it, and I wanted it, and rest in peace to Chick, Is
that Chick All-Stars?
Yeah,
Chick? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Me and him grew up together. We played ball together. And to be honest, one day, I went to him and asked for a package, and he said, Al, get the hell out of here and go DJ. Straight up, just like that. And, I really never tried to, get in the game. Like I sold a little weed or whatever, little petty stuff. But what happened was we started to become real popular with the DJing in Harlem. You understand? We had a crazy following because nobody else was doing it like we were. We were party DJs. And B-Fats, Donald D, shout out and rest in peace to Mike G. Behind my building, 26A, 143rd Street, we used to keep it packed with kids. Kids from all over Harlem came. Because like I said, nobody was doing it like we were doing it. And it was so popular that we had all types of people down with us, and I don't want to get the story wrong, but what happened was, okay, so we became popular. So we took it inside a community center. So now we was charging 50 cents, $1. And
wow.
Certain individuals they ain't want to give up that paper. So
50 cents a dollar?
Yeah.
I mean, I know back then it was that,
yeah,
you know?
Yeah. It was more so $1. First party we gave, I just want to put this down, was at Drew Hamilton Center. We charged 50 cents. And we had about 1,500 kids that came to the party. So can you imagine how much change? you know what I'm saying?
Word.
And later on, you know, we kind of stuck with the dollar thing, and people didn't want to pay $1. So they started carrying our crates and stuff like that. And what was really crazy was, like, people don't even understand that the reason why Sapphire Crew was one of the biggest crews ever in Harlem was we had somebody down that ran their block. Like every other block from 159th Street to 110th Street, you had people that was affiliated with us. And those were the main cats. So, you know, I'm talking about some hustlers, stick-up kids, and just straight up, I don't know what they used to call that back then, you know, but we kind of gave them a platform to stay out of trouble for a little bit. And like I said, my crew, we were the only people in Harlem at the time doing it, and we had individuals, and I'm talking about the main cats from each block, from 159th Street to 110th Street. So, you know, it was really no trouble we had because
it was all love.
Yeah. So what really made us popular was back in 1977, the Renaissance Ballroom. Rest in peace to Lubba Starsky. That's when hip hop really, really started to become real popular. You know.
What we talking about? What year now we at?
We at 1977.
77.
Renaissance Ballroom. Dollar Party. Rolls Royce Movement was the promoters, which a lot of them was hustlers or ex-hustlers. And it was Monday through Thursday. And they charged, I think it was $1 or $2 to get in. So a lot of people that year that was in school, they failed classes because, you know, they was there. But the biggest thing was, like, you know, I was talking about how, you know, I really want what the hustlers had. The reason why I was able to buy the gold chains and wear the sheepskin coats and wear the British Walkers was from that DJ money. I think I was around 17, 18 at the time, shopping at AJ Lester. And if anybody knows about AJ Lester, that's where all the hustlers used to go. But the key was that we would make $75 a night at the Renaissance Ballroom. So Monday through Thursday, $75, you know, each night. And then on the weekends, we would have a variety of shows because the man that started us off, Larry D, he used to split the sound system up. And we might be at PAL. We might be at Randy's place. We might be at the Audubon. And
so he was like a manager?
He was the guy that taught us, taught me. Because, you know, I don't want to make it sound like everything's about me, but I was the connect for us because I went to school with his daughters. I lived on the 19th floor. He lived on the 20th floor. Okay. And
normally it's like that, though. Yeah. It seemed like the producer is the one who spearheads everything. The DJ is, you know. Right. So respectfully.
Yeah. So, you know, I got to shout him out, you know, because it wasn't because of him. Shoot. Who knows how the hip hop situation would have been for us in Harlem, at least. And eventually, you know, you had different clubs opening up. Oh, this is what I was saying. $75 a night, Monday through Thursday. And then on the weekend, we would have three shows, at least 2 or 3 shows. And those was at $300.
$300? Oh, because, man.
You know, so now, you know, it's not what the hustlers was getting, but we were able to shop at these places, you know. So, you know, then you had the Harlem World, Broadway International, the Harlem World, and all that type of stuff. And I remember when the Bronx crossed the bridge, They basically rented the places where we already was established. So what made the Bronx really big in Harlem, in my opinion, was that you had the Harlem crowd and you had the Bronx crowd. And that was sick. That was sick. Like, we did the Audubon Ballroom, and to be honest, we never packed it, right? But Ray Chandler, Black Door Productions, they gave a party there. You had the Harlem and you had the Bronx crowd. So they
crazy.
packed it. Yeah, it was crazy. So, you know, I mean, music has been part of my life. My father was a music producer. He was a singer from the 50s. Like, you know, that's why I call myself One Man, Seven Stories, because I've seen it all. You know, from the Hustlers to Positive Things until what we created at 155th Street and 8th Avenue, the world's famous Entertainers Basketball Classic.
It's so intriguing to me that this couch, this medium where we at right now, is a blessing for me not to know you just as the guy from the mic. So I didn't know half of this stuff. I didn't know none of this stuff.
Right.
You know, us having our little dialogues, chats here and there, but I never knew about, you know, salute to Greg, rest in peace, Greg. I never knew he was an artist, you was a DJ. All I knew was that you was on the microphone, you and Duke Tango.
Right.
The legendary ones who giving out the names, not knowing. And for those that don't know, we fast forward now. There's a lot of different stories out there about EBC, of how it started. I heard you say in the beginning, you said you was one of the founders of the EBC,
Right.
Entertainers Basketball Classic. If I'm not mistaken, it started on 139th Street?
No, I started at Mount Morris Park.
Mount Morris Park.
Right.
How did that come about when you say you was one of the founders of EBC? Because people are going to say, hey, I know him from the microphone. Oh,
Right.
did he play ball? Oh, did Greg play ball? Did any of you guys play ball? And how did that start?
Well, we were in Harlem World. I can't remember the year, 80-something, 82. And me and Greg used to work for Mr. Magic. And Mr. Magic at the time was the only hip-hop radio station, WHBI. So this particular night, it was my group, well, a couple of people from my group, Disco 4, Crash Crew, and Treacherous 3. I think Treacherous 3 and Crash Crew performed at Harlem World that night. So we in the corner. And Mike C from the Crash Crew, I don't even know how basketball came up, but he was talking nonsense. And I mean, me personally, I was a ball player. So I'm like, man, you watch what you say, basically, right?
Now, did he play ball?
He played a little bit. And they challenged us, Disco 4 against Crash Crew. So me and Ronnie D, we went down to WHBI radio station where Mr. Magic was. Like I said, me and Greg worked there. We answered the phones for him. And Ronnie started talking about it to Greg. I started talking about it to Greg, and Mr. Magic overheard the conversation. And he announced it.
Wow.
On the radio. So we like, man, you know, like, why you do that?
That's like going viral today.
Oh my God. It went viral if it was today.
In real time.
Yeah, in real time. Man, that happened on a Saturday. A couple of hours later, Sunday or whatever, we played them at Mount Morris Park. When we came out in that park, it was thousands of kids out there.
Now, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all know that it got leaked, that he mentioned it?
Yeah.
So did y'all have an expectation?
No.
It's
We
like,
just
oh,
went out
okay.
there and played. You know, because I play ball and Greg Marius played ball. We the only two that
But as far as the crowd coming, the community coming,
we had no idea at all. No clue, no idea, man. We didn't. And when we walked in there, it was crazy. And basically, you know, after that game, then you had other crews come in. You had shout out to Sal from Disco Fever. He had a team, Sugar Hill. Let's see, Treacherous 3, definitely. Treacherous 3 was like one of the biggest competitions because they was a Harlem crew. Fever, they had a lot of older, I'm not gonna say old, Pro-Am guys that played in Pro Rucker, Leroy Shaw and all of them. Shout out to them. And I mean, we had, my first team there was from Drew Hamilton Projects. And back then, Drew was known for their ball plays. So a couple of guys, you know, we put on the team. That's when we became an actual tournament. Because when it was the Crash Crew against us, it was just a pickup game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had other groups follow behind that. And my cousin JR and Greg and myself.
Shout out to JR.
Yeah,
Damn.
Rest in peace, cuz. We started putting the tournament together. And then we involved my uncle, which it was JR's dad. He was the one that got us our first major sponsor, which was Doors White Label.
Was it the name EBC Entertainers Basketball Classic birthed yet? Or the name wasn't, how did y'all come up with that name?
It was named Entertainers.
Entertainers. Did y'all just sit one day and thought about it? At this point, who's spearheading this, like, okay, we're going to start a tournament? Was it Greg and yourself? Your crew?
It was a combination of us.
Okay.
But see, a lot of people don't understand. Like I said, you know, I was really in the streets when I was young. And when we met Greg was different. We met Greg like in 1975, and he lived in a brownstone. And I mean, Greg took us places that was in Harlem that we never been to.
Why is that? For those that don't know, for me, besides the artist, Greg was the commissioner, wound up being the commissioner for the EBC.
Right.
But why was Greg able to do that?
Yo, first of all, none of us had a car. He was a spoiled brat.
Okay.
You know, he had everything. Like I said, we lived in the projects. He lived over there by Stravis Road on 138th. I mean, Stravis on 139th, but the houses in 138th Street between 7th and 8th Avenue are the same. And loved his mom. Shout out, rest in peace, Miss Marius. And his dad was a chemist or a professor. You know, we used to have jokes on his pops. You know, so we introduced Greg to Harlem, you know, the streets, and he introduced us to Riverside Church. How about that?
Wow.
Like I played in Stone Gym, but I never went inside the actual Riverside Church.
Wow.
So, like I said, we seeing things. He took us to Queens. Like, we were just Harlem. And Greg just showed us a different way. You know, one of the main things, like a lot of people don't understand, like, you know, it took us, at least took me a long time to understand what I contribute to street basketball. You know, like I said, Greg was our front person. St. John's University, you know, all the positive stuff, Carl, you know, and our relationship became stronger. So, like I was saying before, when we put the tournament together, we involved my uncle, because my uncle used to run a tournament in St. Nick Projects with a man named Mr. Bird. They call it the Bird Classic. And he had like all the knowledge of, you know, organizing and stuff like that. So anyway, eventually we moved up to 139th Street, and something was missing. And it was an announcer. You know, because I never, ever thought I would be announced. I remember getting on the headphones. This is Howard Hotel, you know, and, you know, just bugging out. So what happened was LA Sunshine.
You know what's crazy right now, what's going through my mind is like sitting here talking to you is like me as a young age watching like Crush Groove or Beat Street, because all of these groups.
Right.
And it's like I'm talking to one of the pioneers, as they say, one of the glues to something that wound up being like one of the best things that happened to my life for sports.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I had to just mention that.
No, that's cool. So it was LA tried it, LaVeva tried it, I tried it, and it just didn't work at the time. So like I said, I played ball. So I was at 145th Street and Lenox Avenue. That's when Chick All-Star Tournament was there. And it was this dude named Duke on the mic. And this dude, I was like, I gotta get this dude. You understand what I'm saying? So I approached him. I introduced myself. He said, yeah, I know who you are, whatever. So I said, we doing a tournament over at 139th Street. Are you interested? Can you come over there and get on the mic for us? So he said, hell yeah. So he went over, got on the mic, and was killing it.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I ain't touched the mic.
Now, was Gumby before y'all?
Gumby was definitely, Gumby is the godfather.
Gumby, okay.
Gumby's the godfather. But Gumby was down and at King Towers. They call it King Dome now, but it was King Towers back then. And Gumby, I played in King Towers. And, it's funny, I had Gumby on my show, and I asked him, what nickname did he give me? He said something stupid. Didn't I call you the lizard man? And I'm like, wow. But Gumby is the godfather. I don't care what nobody say.
Now, did he give out names as well?
Yes. He's the one that...
that's one of you, so that's what we consider maybe one of y'all mentors as well?
Definitely. He's the one that named Richie Adams, the animal.
The animal.
Right. And God bless the dead, Evie. He used to call Evie...
wow.
Little Evie with the Kung Fu grip. Like, he was comical,
Shout out to Shane, because Shane played with Evie at one time.
Right.
Shout out to my bro.
He sure did.
Evie.
And, like I said, I snatched Duke up, brought him to the park. He started doing his thing. And then one day he didn't show up. And that's basically when I was born, because I started doing what he was doing. And Greg and them was like, F him, we don't need him, and I'm like, y'all crazy. That dude is dope. You understand? So now, me and him doing the games.
But you're no longer playing them now. It's over with you playing at this point.
I was playing a little
if need be, but most of you going now, you're veering towards the microphone.
And what I did was, with the Streetball announcing thing, I brought hip hop to it, interacting with the crowd. Pulling people out and making them dance. And, that was my job. I was just Duke's hype man. But in reality, I was Duke's babysitter, because Duke was so good and so many people was in his ear trying to mislead him. But I took him, put him under the wing.
No doubt.
We became brothers. He's the God's father of my son. To
this day, good brother.
To this day.
Yep.
And, like I said, and then Greg actually named us Tango and Cash, because when we was on 139th Street, this is funny, we had two names. They called we called ourselves Mr. Buddha and Mr. Blunt, because, smoking.
Oh, yeah. I think I heard some of those stories. Yes.
Yeah. And then, what was the other one? It was one more. Good Cop, Bad Cop, they called us, right? So those two names didn't work out. And then the movie Tango and Cash came out. Mm-hmm. And Greg said, y'all like a movie. Y'all should call yourself Tango and Cash. And that's what we did, Now,
backtrack real quick. So, I got the tournament, right? At that point, it was called the Entertainers.
Right.
Duke Tango came to the game. Mm-hmm. And then Duke missed one game or what have you. Then you came and you did one of the games. Mm-hmm. The beginning of the league started, the Entertainers started where, if I'm not mistaken, it was just the artists.
Right.
The different artists.
Right.
How did it become, like, what happened? How did it get to where I was able to play in what they call EBC?
All right. So
I'm not an artist.
Right.
I'm just a fan.
So what happened was, Disco 4. See, Disco 4 was just the name of a group, but we had 8 members. You had 3 DJs and 5 MCs, and nobody else can play ball. Like I was telling you, me and Greg.
Yes.
So then we started bringing people from the block.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So we allowed, the rule was at one time that each team was allowed to have 2 players. Regular streetball players. And it was funny because when that happened, Greg went and got Walter Berry, Kenny Hutch. Okay.
So he used his connections, not only showing y'all the lavish stuff, but he used his trump cards to bring those type guys in.
And then JR said, hold up. You got them? JR went and got Pearl Washington. So now it's really no losing. Oh, and I forgot about Olden Polynice. Now, Olden, when he played, he really didn't have, he was just big and, he wasn't really NBA material. But eventually, and it's funny because Disco 4 had two teams. We had Disco 4A, we had Disco 4B. And Chuck and Evie coached the A team with Walter Berry and Kenny Hutch. And Pearl. Yeah, I think Pearl got on that team too because Pearl was supposed to play with the B team.
So everybody trying to stack now.
Yeah. So now other hip hop groups were trying to get players, but it didn't work out too good for them. And like I said, the guys from Drew Hamilton, they were good. Most of them was high school ball players, college ball players. We had a guy called Big Ed Mad Dog. Yo, when he dunked, oh my God, like the rim shake for about 5 minutes.
It almost made me shake just now, just visualizing it.
Yeah. So, Mount Morris was definitely a good look. And, like I said, Sal from Disco Fever, he helped us out a lot. And a lot of people didn't know, like you was asking me, like you didn't know that I was a DJ and Greg was an MC or whatever. I mean, a lot of guys, Jada Kiss didn't know, Fat Joe and them didn't know. And they was like, word, like what happens, a lot of people participated in the tournament not knowing the history.
That's why this right here is so important to me.
Right.
The history of it, because, I know I just didn't get dropped somewhere. Mousy said, yo, come play in this tournament.
Right.
I wanted to know the history, and this right here is helping me out so much.
Right.
Because I feel I was blessed to be a spokesman for what they call street basketball. So I'm so honored to be here, to be able to sit in this space with you, and you willing to share the history that a Fat Joe, let's say, didn't know, or Jada, my favorites, didn't know that you was a MC, a DJ, and Greg was a rapper, So this is so dope.
Nah, it's a good look, man. And I mean, just the experience. Like, first of all, we never, ever thought that the tournament would be what it is today. And one of the things that happened over the years, being that the park was so well known, right? Everybody called our tournament the Rucker. And that used to hurt my nerves.
I was gonna get to that.
Okay.
There's a all right, so for those that don't know, from my knowledge, Rucker Park, of course, we played at Holcomb Rucker, 55th, the park on 55th and 8th Ave. Let's just say that.
Right.
Years ago, Mr. Holcomb Rucker came up with a tournament in that park where to keep the youth and get the community involved, keep the youth off the streets doing the right thing.
Right.
For those that don't know, what if there is a difference besides playing at 155th and 8th Avenue, what's the difference between EBC and Rucker Park?
Well, EBC, we was established already. Okay, here's a quick story. A lot of people don't know. Our crowds were so big at 139th Street and Lenox Avenue that the police department started messing with us. Behind the park, it was a senior citizens home. And, it's crazy because Greg Marius' mother ran the senior citizens home. Right. So, we was rocking for a little bit and then guys start triple parking and, the police department, they got involved. So they had a meeting and they gave us an option. It was either, and Greg tells a different story, but my story is that it was either Randall's Island or 155th Street.
Okay.
And Greg said it was either Randall's Island, 145th Street or 155th Street. So anyway,
45th, the park where Mousy tournament is at?
45th, right.
Right there on the corner.
Right. So Greg always said that the reason why he didn't choose that part because there's only one exit, which is true. But I always looked at Greg like he was crazy because, Greg, what you know about security? You know, I'm keeping it 100. I just thought it was for the cameras. But anyway, long story short, we wasn't going to Randall's Island because who's going to come to Randall's Island to street basketball? So at the time, the Pro-Am, they was on the weekend anyway, and they was kind of playing out. And we ended up getting the park Monday through Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we already had thousands of people coming out to see us because what really helped us was, they used to call it a rap tournament at first too, like the outside people that didn't really know what.
Because it was all the artists,
right? It was mostly artists. But when we moved to 155th Street, it actually was still teams, and that's basically when the hustlers got involved, and they would get. You experienced it.
Dominican Power.
Yeah. I mean, the Dominican Power came kind of late, but you had J All Stars. You had Chick was up there for a minute, if I'm not mistaken. Like you had some all in.
I watched how it went from the change of the backboards to the change of T-shirts to the uniforms, and then being able to be a part of, I guess I want to say the nightlife. Going to Willie Burgers, the BMWs, the BBS boys out there, 45th at Ferg. Shout out to D Ferg, God rest him. The whole Ferg family. Wednesdays, Grant Tune, just Club 2000. Shout out to Mecca Audio. Mecca what? Mecca Audio.
Right.
So I was able, as a kid, this is the thing that I remember. What you taking me down is really a learning experience.
Okay.
That I don't know if you even have an opportunity to have this where ex-players that know where our history.
Right.
Because you're a part of our history, but we didn't know your history. I know I didn't know your history.
Right.
So now we got the tournament now. We at 55th. Who's some of the top players and how did it go about and why did y'all start naming players?
Well, okay.
And who was one of the first players that you named, if you can remember?
Wow. I really.
I won't put you on the spot like that. What's some of the names that you did get a chance to be involved with, either naming or still stick out to this day?
Well, something is funny because a lot of people would think, and I thought this, that it would be Skip to my Lou, right? But as far as people being relevant, it's the future.
No doubt. Forever young.
Forever young.
Forever young.
Future.
Still doing it.
Yeah, he's still doing it. I mean, Hannibal actually, renamed him Forever Young. But people know him by the future. You understand? But
so you gave that name?
Yes.
You talking years ago, why the future? What did you see to call him the future? Because that's a heck of a name.
Because
that means
he was doing things that, and it's funny because it's a reality now that I thought may happen in the future. Like he was doing some crazy stuff. That's crazy because that question was never asked to me, but in reality, that's what it was. Because we called him, I called him E.T. He had
that little,
and he had that little big head, and because I was the one with the jokes before Boob came on, and I just saw things in him that I guess I seen it before it really became popular because, you got a lot of kids that do that stuff and want to be like the future. But the most popular name that I gave out was Skip to my Lou. I mean, me and Duke gave Skip to my Lou the name together. And people say, how could y'all give a person a name? Y'all whispering at each other's name? And I said, no. I said, Duke was on the mic and he started saying, he's skipping on him. This is Rafer skipping on him. And he kept skipping. And then all of a sudden, I started singing, skip, skip, skip through my
Lou, my
name.
darling.
Yeah. And the name stuck with him, you know. I mean, even with you, we gave, how many names did we give you? 2 or 3 names?
It started, I know for a fact, it started with the kid from across the water, then it was Wawa, then it was the coming attraction, and then it was the main event.
Right. And see,
not understanding none of the transformations. Every time it wasn't like I was like, yo, I got to do something. No. So this for me as a player, like I didn't know what was going on. I had no clue what was going on. Right. You know, it'd be a lot of discrepancies about that word legend. I never called myself a legend because coming from New Jersey, I don't think we played ball to say that we're going to be a legend one day. Being a legend, as far as a street ball legend, meant someone wasted their talents. That's what coming from Jersey, a street ball legend meant. Yeah, they put it in on the court, whatever, but they wasted their talent some way, somehow. So going through this name changes, I'm just like, wow, okay, what's it going to be this week? Right. But by the time I got the name main event, I already was like, okay, I don't want no other name. This is, you know, what was the change and why?
In my opinion, it was your performance, because that's how we nickname people. You understand what I'm saying? And like, it's been times when you have dunked, and I think that's what made us really give you that name, because some of your dunks was crucial in the games. You understand what I'm saying? Like, even yesterday, you know, it's funny because, you know, behind the scenes, you know, I'm doing a documentary or whatever, but I was looking at some footage and I said, I'm going to edit this and send it to you. And yo,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. You understand what I'm saying? And that name fitted you. Like, you know, let me tell you, let me leave you a second alone. We go by personalities, your performances. And I never forgot it. It was a kid named Tracy. He was happy to play at.
Trey Bag?
No.
Okay. Shout out to Trey Bag. The rest he passed, right? Trey Bag, something got. Yeah, Trey, that's good brother there.
Right.
Good brother.
Dark-skinned brother.
Okay.
Somebody gave this kid a shirt. Now, I know him. I know his mother. And he had black funeral socks on. Right? So, I snapped on the funeral socks. Next day, they had white uniforms. They had a game. He came back with a dirty uniform, right? Like he didn't wash it overnight. So I started calling him public assistant. And people just, you understand? So when I say we go by your performance, I guess it's your appearance, you know, it's crazy. It's like, okay, this is my most favorite player in the whole world. The whole world that plays street basketball. And he knows it. And that's Kareem Reed.
Best kept secret, my point guard. Love you, boy.
Kareem Reed. I always call him the littlest man with the biggest heart. You understand what I'm saying? Like you know, you got other people out there talking about what they did and what they did. I don't ever hear Kareem boast. But if you look back at the stats and what he did, he's close to being, and I'm put it out there. I'm not saying he is, but he might be the closest to be the best point guard that ever played out there.
Wow. I was blessed to be able to play with a young Kareem Reed.
Kareem. I mean, you know, I hear people talk about, I had this many points, I had that many points. But Kareem, I remember Kareem had 41 points on Joe Smith. He wasn't guarding him.
But he was a pro. I was giving him some work.
Yeah.
Reem was giving him some work.
Yeah.
I used to tell Reem, I used to be like, yo, just slow down a little bit. Cause you know, my thing was to get on that break, get on that wing, either throw me a oop or whatever. And I'd be like, yo, Reem, slow down a little bit. Because he would get up in the trenches, man. He knew how to finish.
Nah, he definitely was a tough finisher. You know.
And I never understood why. I shout out my bro Mousy, who introduced me to Entertainers Basketball Classic Rucker Park, because I might be 2 or 3 years older than Kareem, but Mousy made it very, very clear. Can nothing happen to Kareem? Because we would be with Mousy, besides the games, we hanging out, we chilling, whatever. And like that was my job to make sure nothing happened to Kareem Reed.
Not Kareem.
Could nothing happen to him, nothing. It would be nothing. So to hear you say that, and you seen what they call the greats, Master Robs,
Right.
David King.
Right. Well, people didn't really see Pookie Wilson.
Dancing Doogie.
Doogie, right. That's a lot. Dow McDonald. What we called him? I can't even think of it.
Ice. Ali Mo brother.
Right.
Stick Ice.
Stick Ice. Yeah, it was a lot of great. See, like a shout out to A Butter.
Absolutely, whole lot of game.
He always calls his era the golden era.
No.
I'm telling you what he said.
That's his thing. Okay.
He says it's the golden era. And I always said, if your era is the golden era, that means the eras before you were platinum. You understand what I'm saying? Because the game changed so much. It changed so much.
What do you think era was the golden era?
I would say the beginning, man. I would really say the beginning, because without the beginning, you could not even.
And when you mention beginning, you talking about the Pee Wee Kirklands, the Joe Hammonds?
No. I'm talking about the Doogies, the Dow McDonalds, the Pookie Wilsons, the Terminators,
Tip Dog, God rest.
Tip Dog, Mike Boogie. Those, because it was street basketball. And let me ask you a question, because Black Graham asked me this.
Okay.
When did basketball outdoors was named street basketball? Do you know?
No.
Because, we didn't talk about it yet, but they said that that came up when And One came out. And I never really paid attention to it. Like, I asked a couple of older guys about it, and they said, nah, Streetball was named that, but they couldn't give me no percent.
Now, this what I can say. If they want to give And One that credit, we would have to give my brother Hassan that credit, because remember I had the shirt that said Streetball, and on the back it had the phrase that said the game is raw from start to finish. That's way before And One. To even for me to take credit, I want to find out where, because I heard the name Streetball watching documentaries like the Fathers of the Sports.
Right.
So that name I think is such of a broad name, but I think people heard that name a lot from maybe the And One. But we've been using that word Streetball. Right. It came from the community. It came from the culture.
And
I think the culture has all right on to that.
And I was pretty much saying that to Graham. It's like you got people out here that call themselves a legend. Like, all right, people call me a legend, right, for many years, right? But I never fed into it. I didn't look for no flowers from it or anything. But one day, and I give Graham credit, he sat down with me and broke it down and explained it really made me understand what me and Duke contribute and how we help change street basketball. And from that day on, even to now, I understand when a person calls me a legend, I can accept it more than not, and people that name themselves legends, a lot of them are not legends.
Self-proclaimed.
Self-proclaimed, right?
Let's get this straight then. Let's get this out the way.
Right.
What's a legend? When you're dealing with street basketball, as far as what's out there, what do those consider a legend? Is it everyone have their own definition? What's your definition of a legend?
Well, I think a legend should be a person. A streetball legend should be a person that killed in every park they played in. Every park they played in. So, like, people call me a legend, or you also have ball players that's called legends that played in 55th Street for many, many years. Like, if they're gonna do anything, put names in the stone. Like, I mean, I was there 40 years. Like I said, I was one of the founders. So from what I contribute by nicknaming people and putting that battery in the back, as they say, that's how I became a legend. But you have people that participated in the actual tournament, and I guess that's how you become a legend, But I thought, personally, you had to go to every park and kick somebody's butt. Like
that was my. If someone asked me what's a legend, someone who was able to perform at the highest level under any circumstance.
Okay.
Of course, you ain't gonna have bad days, good days, but what you do bad in the game, you could make it up doing other things.
Right.
Mousy had me playing, and I got to give credit to him, I guess, on that journey of me, what New York City and what the world wound up calling me as a legend.
Right.
Playing in Dykeman, playing in Peligre, playing in Kingdom,
right.
playing in Soul in the Hole.
Right.
He had me playing everywhere.
Right. Right.
Is it a difference between a legend or a New York City legend? Is someone like Pee-wee Kirkland, is he a New York City legend? Or is Joe Hammond a legend, renowned, worldwide legend?
Well, to be honest, I think that has to do with a lot of the stories that's being told.
Okay.
There's a story out there, and it's funny, that Joe Hammond had 50 points. He came at half.
I heard that. He was on the block and somebody came, scooped him up. That's a myth?
A myth.
Was they stressing it that he's that great?
Joe Hammond was one of the baddest dudes out there, but that particular story, it's not true. His coach told me personally that if Joe would have came at halftime, he wouldn't have played Joe.
So basically the coach is saying no one's bigger than the game, not even Joe. Even if he could score 60 and a half, just he needed to be at that game when it started. Right.
And he said he did hit 50 on dot, but Joe did not come at halftime. And that has a lot to do with, and this is before social media. You understand what I'm saying? People people tell stories, and if the story gets told over and over, it could become a movie. Yeah. Yeah, and
everybody put their twist on it.
Right. Yeah. And some people that's going to view this show and say, "Oh, Al is hating." I'm not hating. I keep it 100. Anybody that knows me personally knows I'm real. I'm not looking. It's a lot of things that I felt that I should have been acknowledged for and I should have got flowers for, but I didn't. Right. But at the end of the day, I'm still here. And
for a purpose.
For a purpose. Yeah, man. It is what it is. People know. And I'll give you another quick story. Okay.
But real quick, because it's like a little fact check thing we just did, right? There's a story out there. It could be true, false, or myth. Someone named Peter Shue.
Okay.
There's a story out there that he came to the game or used to come to the game with Madonna. Is that true?
That's real talk. That's my man, Surround Sound, a.k.a. Wong. When Peter Shue first came in the tournament, he played in 139th Street.
So I didn't know Peter Shue played.
And I used to call him Wong because he looks Asian. You understand what I'm saying? So then I forgot how he became a coach. And I started calling him Surround Sounds because he had 3 beepers on it.
Oh.
Like I said, I was the jokester before, Boo came on and stuff. And he used to always have this little Louis Vuitton bag with him.
So he was doing that with Peter Shue had the bags and all that back there.
Yeah. He was getting it. I think he's the one that brought the kid from Queens. I can't think of the guy's name right now, but Peter Shue.
Madonna. So was you at that game?
Yeah.
And what was your reaction? So at that point, the tournament was ready. It was like going to a Lakers game, going to a Knicks game courtside.
Basically.
Okay, so it didn't really shock you at that moment, but it was
it was shocking because to be honest with you, I didn't know who it was at first. And then I don't remember who called and said, "Yo, you know who that is?" And they said, "Madonna, get the F out of here." And it was her. Yeah, Peter. He was getting it. Them dudes are from Queens. They was getting it. You know what I'm saying? Big D and all them, it was a lot of BS that they brought to the tournament. But, none of that stuff really fazed me. because of my old crew. You know, like they talk about the hustlers and this and that and that. And I didn't care. I got 100 niggas behind me.
That's doing all that. This
Yeah.
one, it was like where if we see someone that have potential, and normally it was the athlete or things like that, or your crew said, listen, he don't got to do none of this.
Right.
He don't have to do none of this. He's shopping where we at, he eating where we at, he doing X, Y, and Z. When we hear these stories like that, are those stories plant? Like, yo, Al, do this. Al B, you gonna do that. You can't do this. Well, you said that earlier.
Right.
That you went to get a pack.
Right.
And bro said, nah, you ain't doing that. Go DJ.
Right.
So this kind of, we need more of that today.
Right.
Because you hear these stories with these athletes particular getting caught up. You're like, yo, how you get caught with 10 bricks and 2 guns or something like that? Who, it seems like we're not protecting those we need to protect.
A lot. Well, first of all, they don't listen. That's the main thing. And like I used to tell my sons, stories and stuff. And I used to say, if his friends is around, I tell them the same story. And I tell my sons, I say, yo, if you go back and repeat what I just said to your friends, and if there's 10 of them, if one listen to what you say, you won. You won. Mm-hmm. You understand?
And that's life.
Yeah. Lil Al, K-Son, my sons. I mean, look at Lil Al. Lil Al, head coach at Clark Atlanta University. I mean, like,
I remember he was a baby.
Yeah, but I had nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with that. He did that on his own. But he did sit on my lap from the age of 6, 7 years old at EBC Rucker Park.
Absolutely.
And learn. You understand? I remember I used to get mad at him when he playing games, because he was a fan of Skip to My Lord. Oh my God. He would get the ball and come down court, and all of a sudden he jumps and he's committed now because he think he skipped. So eventually, he got that out of him, but that used to, oh my God, man, it used to kill me, man.
I remember seeing him there, man, right, like you said, right next to you.
Yeah.
So now we got the league going on. Everybody know what's going on. Peter Shue comes with Madonna, the different stories, the different players you've seen. I know there was a year when Bill Clinton came.
Right.
What's that experience like? The president came to EBC.
It was a good feeling. I was surprised. Nobody knew about it because Greg had told us that the Secret Service had notified him that he was coming, but he couldn't say anything publicly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And when he came, I'm like, oh wow. He's coming out to see us. And it's funny that day because I was scheduled to do the kids game. And that's what they saw. They saw the kids game. They didn't really see the adult game that day. And Booby Smooth talked me out of doing the game. I let Booby rock. And Boo ain't do no kids game, but the president was there. And
I see, okay.
Yeah, so, like EBC, everybody and their mother, I don't care if you was a bum in the street, if you was the richest man in the world, some type of way, you're going to be there. We had all type of celebrities that came through, man. Like, you name it. And I'm not talking about local celebrities. I'm talking about people from California, this place, that place, And people say, and I agree with them that we are the blueprint for street basketball, right? Hands down. I agree with them. But the only difference in a lot of tournaments are compared to what we did. The difference is nowadays that you don't have the entertainment. That's what they don't have.
So they got the players, they got the community, but they're missing the entertainment factor. I want to ask you this question. Mm-hmm. Real quick, dealing with community.
Okay.
I noticed playing at Rucker Park that the community comes out. Watching old school movies. How important and where did the idea come from when y'all take the fire hydrant caps off in the summertime for the kids to play in the water? Like, how'd that Do you know?
Yo, all I know, I was one of the kids back then. We used to get cans and scrape them on the ground and pull the top off, both sides, right? And, you know, somebody, it was the older guys, they would open the hydrant up and, you know, the first time I did it, you know, the can blew out my hand. And, you know, eventually I learned how to do it, but that was just
having fun.
Just having fun, yeah. I mean, one year, I forgot what year it was, but it was definitely in the 70s. Like where I lived at, it was a fire department right there. And the firemen actually came out and cut the hydrant on for the people from the neighborhood. And then later on, that's when they started putting these caps on there with the sprinkles. You know, but yeah, I definitely was one of them kids.
I always wanted to ask. I knew about guys playing Scully.
Right.
Get to school chair.
We called it loadies.
Loadies, okay.
I mean, people call it skellies, but we called it loadies.
Okay.
Yeah, I was good at that too.
Get the piece from the chair, put on the joint though.
Man, we used to get the you know, the chips that people gamble with, red, and we used to glue those together and, you know, do our thing. And then later on, the milk containers, you know, the top of the milk containers, we used to put dirt in that, make it glue. And when you put the glue in, the dirt, those old-fashioned chips I was talking about, when you hit they top.
You knock it right out.
No, it breaks it up.
Oh,
yo,
see, I know this.
That's that old school. And all that shit.
That's that Harlem world.
Yeah.
So there was a game that would just happen here at Gaucho. This kind of gonna be like a two-part question, you know. There was a game at Gaucho's and the game didn't finish.
Okay.
The reason why I'm saying the game didn't finish, my understanding is that when out-of-towners come places, especially if you don't go and you're dealing with the right people, that can be a situation. But the other part was that the game didn't finish because the horseshoe. I'm part of that culture. I understand it. When the crowd I've seen this in full court games.
Right.
So we talking about 1v1s.
Right.
The 1v1s, perfect, nice event. Shout out to all the players. But one of the games didn't finish because of that horseshoe. They couldn't control the crowd. But as I'm watching the crowd, I'm like, I don't see none of the usual suspects. There was no one who could say, whoa. Like, where did that come from? And I think that's a part of the street basketball culture, especially in New York City, because I don't see that done anywhere else. Right. Do you know where that come from? And do I Dare You Alley come from that?
Wow, that's another tough one. I mean, I agree with you far as you don't see that nowhere else, but I mean, at the end of the day, it goes under crowd control, and that's the reason why we end up getting barricades. And, you know, first we had the wood ones, then they put the metal ones up, and then you had the VIP sections for those reasons. You know, like, first of all, Rucker Park is one of the biggest parks, you know, for street basketball. And it's funny, you know, I see footage of other parks, but, you know, it's small. So if you got a lot of, it's going to look like a lot of people, you know, but yeah, man,
I witnessed games where let's say my game is I shoot jump shots from the side. I'm going into that game, especially if it's in New York City, I'm going to that game saying that there might be an opportunity that I might not be able to shoot not one jump shot as closer as it get to the game, because I know that I'm gonna only have that lane of work. I only have that one lane of work. Right. Which I know could coincide with what I hear a lot of guys, y'all used to say on the mic, I Dare You Alley, because I Dare You Alley is really the space
that you have.
that you have.
Right.
So the question is, in my 20 plus years, And Rucker Park, like you said, you had the blue barricade. I can see them right now, the blue barricades. But for the parks that don't have the barricade, and we see this to the day, I'm all for it. I'm gonna keep it 100. You ain't, listen, man up. You know what I mean? I'm from that era. Whatever it is, I'm never not going to finish a game because of, like, if I'm in, especially a 1v1 or whatever it is, I'm not going, I could be saying this now, and I think even back then, but I'm not going to not finish a game because of the crowd, unless it's just like crazy when you on the court. I'm going to use what what you giving me to work with.
Right.
I was looking at the games, right, and I'm saying, wow, man, there was no one that could have said, hey, we're not going to start the game till somebody move back. But then another side of me said, listen to who I would consider one of my mentors, who we have different conversations, especially back in the day, was Pee Wee Kirkland.
Okay.
Where he said that part of the culture of street basketball is to be up close and personal. To be able to touch that person. But we still got to respect the court.
Right.
But it's kind of double-edged. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. I remember games where Joker's just like, yo, you better not score another bucket.
Right.
You're not getting that at the NBA game or none of these inside where the court is so spread. So I think it boils down to if whomever do these type games, not only in New York City or wherever, is not checking in, it's just going to say hello and introduce yourself to the right individuals. Because the people that you may sit down with these deals with may have a suit and a tie on, but the people who could do the crowd control may look like you and I. Right. And I think a lot of these people overlook that. Especially, you can't come into the Mecca and change rules. Right. You can't. You can't come into the Mecca and change rules. You can't really go in nobody's house and change rules. Right. So, with that being said, what would, if that game was at Rucker Park, you, Duke Tango on the mic, because I see that you guys can control the narrative, control the energy. Right. I think that game would have went on. Right. Shout out to Isaiah Briscoe representing Jersey and Nasir Kaur. I think repping out of B-more. Right. There were those, the hottest, Zay playing the NBA, Zay's overseas now. Okay. Oh, so that was the highlight. Right. And for everyone, and you could see how the crowd, my son Quintrell started, he was looking like, hey, it's getting closer, they're getting closer, it's getting closer. I'm saying to myself, it's about to go down. Right. So if anybody looking for if anybody repertoire consists of a jump shot as your go-to, it's not going to happen. I don't care who you is. I saw it. Right. No, I get it. So we don't know where that came from. It's just a part, it boils down to crowd control.
Crowd control, yeah, that's where it is. I remember games when, let's say, Master Rob is playing against the Future, and I'm just saying that Future just came up and did his thing, right, on the 8th Avenue basket. Now, Master Rob is going towards the handball court. So the crowd that's on the 8th Avenue side is now on the court because they want to see up close what Rob is doing. And that happens in a lot of tournaments,
They peak on the court and they'll back up off it. But now, and I seen some games at Dykeman. Shout out to Dykeman, Kevin, them over there. Kenny and them, the court is like, but they move though. Right. When you coming down the break, they're spread out and they move. Back up. Yeah. I'm gonna say this, and I heard you guys, I think, say this as well on a couple of docs. That Blacktop ain't for everybody.
That's true.
It's not for everybody. Right. The Black Moles, I was young playing against them. Right. I remember I came in 15, 16 years old. Right. So I remember at one time Ann1 was saying that they have to let these guys break the rules. I was against all that because of the entertainment factor. I said we wouldn't have lasted this long if it wasn't entertaining what we was doing. Right. Shane Drew Machine, Headache, Skip, guys like that. I'll be right back when he finally came. So we had entertainment. But for me, what made a person, when it comes to this, did you want to label guys, legends and just stuff like that, streetball legends. To me, and also going back to the streetball legend, is when a player can do both.
Okay.
I can mix it up. And I could do it within the confine of the rules of the game.
Right.
I played at Rucker Park game, EBC games, with real referees.
Right.
And one at one time was getting referees from just giving them a shirt.
And tell them the
And it took away from the culture. It took away from the things that we worked hard for.
Right.
It's not that I despise or hate anyone. I don't hate anyone.
Right.
It's just that I watch a company take advantage of a culture. I was a part of a culture with N1 where I didn't know what we was doing. This builds character. It builds community.
Right.
But when you at that level and don't plant no seeds, so when I was out and we go besides N1 when the season over and we going back to these communities, you know what a part of me was doing? Planting a piece of that Rucker Park seed, that EBC seed, that Fourth Ward seed, that Eastwick seed. These are places I'm from, that South Carolina seed, Rimber, Dazzell. I'm planting these seeds. And how am I planting these seeds? By telling them my experiences, by telling them my journeys, by going back and talking to the kids, by setting up camps and stuff for the kids. They didn't do that, but you want to take everything from the foundation, which in that case is EBC.
Right.
You want people to think that Streetball, I seen one time it said they're the #1 Streetball whatever in the world. There's no way you can do that. You don't have enough stake in the game.
Right. Right. I agree with you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can't. Rucker Park was my main stage. But you know how when if we want to clean our shoes, polish our shoes, right? If you do it right, it's stages to it.
Right.
You just don't put the wax on. You got to get the dust off. You got to get the dirt off. And you got to buff it. And then you might do a little old school military spit shine down at the train stations and stuff like that where the guys do your shoes and that's how it is. But these guys think that, no, I'm just coming out shine.
Right.
There's levels to this. You guys, I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I don't want to be a bearer of bad news. But you got to prove to us why you call yourself a legend. That's why I can't call certain individuals a legend, and I call Pee Wee Kirkland or Joe Hammond or yourself a legend. They call me a legend. Nah, we certified legends. We're certified legends. We have to add that word certified because this word legend, it will continue to just be thrown out there.
Right.
Anyone can't make you a legend. They played 30 games.
Right.
We go to 30 cities, we play 30 games at one time. Come on, man. I put 11 years at Rucker, had 5 names.
Right.
Yo, you guys who worked hard for the game, for the sport, for the culture, I love what you're doing. I can't do it by myself. I'm not trying to do it by myself. But when y'all start using that word legend, you better show and be able to prove why you think you're a legend. And the legend, when I'm looking at, and the guys that you named, we wasn't just legends on the court.
Right.
We're getting older now because that legend word just doesn't stop. I know it didn't stop for me once the ball stopped bouncing.
Right.
It didn't stop. So there's a lot that come with that word legend. Certification. You have to be certified.
Certified. Got it.
You go drive that forklift, you got to be certified.
Right.
And I want to just say this. What do you have coming up? I've been seeing it for so long. 1 man, 7 stories. You always say a phrase, yep. I want to know where that came from. We're going to tie this up. But what you got next? I know I had the opportunity to spend some time with you the other day, working on the project. I don't know if you want to share that project, and it's not over. Legends, what they say, we don't die, we multiply, and we are certified living legends. So what's coming from you next, certified one?
Man, I have definitely have the EBC doc we putting together. And then I have another project that I'm working on called Growing Up in Harlem. And it's basically just talking about growing up in Harlem, my success. Me being a single parent, beating the streets. I mean, it's a variety of different things. I got other people that, I'm include their stories. But Harlem was Harlem, and the most important thing to me is how Harlem is divided. How if we would have stayed or instead of trying to compete against each other and unite, how successful we could have been.
Compete with me, not with me.
Right.
And we talking overall, not just sports, entertainment.
Right.
We talking overall.
Right.
Harlem is
Right. Because, I mean, you know, we were known for the fashion and all that. And like I said earlier in the show, people call us arrogant, but it's not the same no more. Like, and you know, somebody told me, they said the reason why, and I don't know how true it is, Harlem's not the same because you started having people from other different boroughs and states.
it got gentrified.
Right.
They call it urban renewal, gentrification, but that's going on everywhere.
Everywhere.
And even though it's going on everywhere, I still have that faith or that mustard seed that it could get back on. But it can never get back on track if we don't have these conversations, whether it's here, somewhere else, the history.
Right.
Because when you learn about the history, if I could share if I knew the history that you share with me today, playing at Rucker Park EBC, right?
Right.
I maybe didn't understand it, but took the game even different. Because I'm a part of legendary history.
Okay.
You know, so it's going to continue. It's going to, we got to just start sharing our history, start wanting for my brother what we want for yourself.
Right.
Get back to the old simple things. And it's going to take us. We can't wait for, you know, the government or people who deal with our issues from a statistic point of view. It's going to take those individuals who went through some facet of this.
Right.
It's going to take people that look like us. It's going to take people who came from those same struggles. Not only that came from the struggles, but also have those success stories.
Right.
See, and I say this humbly, and people like us, how do it feel when you say success? Your story going to be about the success of Harlem and share some of your successes, but how do you feel being a part of someone else's success? That's a heck of an individual, man. We are a part of so many other people's successes.
Right.
Which I thank the creator.
Right.
I thank it. But where a lot of people want to lean on us and come to us, we only got the man above to lean on because so many people rely on us.
Right.
And I take it. Basketball have us right here today for where we're talking almost 20-something years, man. How many people won't get this opportunity?
Yeah, it's different.
How many people won't get this opportunity to be able to sit with a certified legend who I've just known for being on a microphone? We all have stories, similar stories with different music behind it. Yours really have music behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Anything you want to say to encourage someone, whatever they're going through, you got it right here on 3.
Nah, what I would say to the young people, man, pay attention. And when you call us OGs, respect that name OGs and listen to the OGs. That's the main thing. A lot of people come up to you and say, OG, this. You know, understand what you did. We've been there already. And we want the best for you. And far as becoming successful, always write down your ideals. You know, copyright your ideals. You know, because it's a lot of things that I didn't do that I probably would be rich if I would have did it. And the main thing is we gave out hundreds and hundreds of nicknames. Just imagine if we would have copyrighted all those nicknames and these guys are using it on, you know, banners, their shirts, apparel, and, you know. But like I said, keep your head up, young people, man. Pay attention. Y'all can follow me at Albie Cash on Instagram. You know, I do have a podcast show that we're working on. It's called EBC Inside of Rucker Park. You know, that's gonna be dope. And I'm always gonna support my brother Maine. Let me just tell y'all a quick question. A quick story real quick. Okay. So a couple of years ago, Maine calls me up and his partner Mark calls me up and they said they're giving this event out in Jersey. So I said, okay, I'm available. I'll come out and do it. And like when I came, the vibe that I got right away, the love, the energy, you know, it was crazy to me because I say to myself, yo, I've been around people 20, 30 years, partners, working with them. And when I got with these guys, half man, half amazing, Future, like it was totally different. It was nothing but love. And I just felt the positive energy. And ever since then, for me, like anytime Maine needs me and I can do it, or Mark needs me, I'm here for them, man, because I appreciate them. You know, they are sincere guys, no BS, none of that undermining. 30,000 is here, but we only gonna give you 2,000. Nah, I don't feel that when it comes to these guys. They straight up brothers, and I thank y'all.
No, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I think I want to make sure I say the word right. Remiss, or whatever they say, charge my mind, not my heart. But today's co-host was Buckshot Teddy Jr., we call him. He was here today. Y'all might see him running around, but this was his first time on set. Basketball have took me around the world. I really got a chance to break bread with you, like literally break bread with you. Event in Atlantic City. You was talking about Future, half man, half amazing, Lenny Cook.
Lenny Cook, that's right.
And when you mention the word like nothing is fake, nah, it's like, that's big bro. That's big bro.
Okay.
You know, and have or not have, we're gonna make sure that he need whatever it is that he need, whatever it is. If it was a cup of water, if it was a salute, a handshake, a hug. Right. And the creator made that where he made that happen to where he wanted, we talk on the phone now.
Right.
We talk about personal things. We talk about health.
Right.
We ain't talk about that 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
A one weekend elevated our relationship beyond expectation.
Right.
I know for me, beyond expectation, it took me back to being able to show my big brother how I was raised.
Okay.
I ain't want to just drop you off. I'm wait till you get in the house.
Right.
I know I just left you how long it should take for you to get from here to there. I'm going to call you at some point. I was taught that.
Right.
So now I'm able to display and demonstrate what I was taught to my big brother, who know main event all his life, and never got an opportunity to know Wally Dixon.
Right.
Not saying Maine wouldn't do that, because you've been around Maine, but to see Wally and to see how I have matured, maybe it's good or bad in somebody's eyes or whatever, but you see my growth.
Definitely.
And we're able to talk about our growth because some of our brothers are not here, our soldiers, Conrad McCray, Black Widow, Ali Mo, Stick Ice.
It's a lot.
A lot. Those that we had a brotherhood and maybe they could have got an opportunity to have a conversation with you. That's not a part of the culture, like being able to have this dialogue. But I think it's going to become a part of the culture. Who can we talk to when the ball stopped bouncing?
Right.
Who can we get the history from? How was it when Kobe came there? How was it when the best game that never was played?
Right.
We got to ask these questions. We got to be able to ask it because we know to ask these questions to share with the youth coming up.
Right.
Do things with a purpose. Do things with a purpose. And I thank you. I thank the creator for allowing this, man. Main Event and Friends, my brother Mark, and just being men to our word. Let's make it happen.
No doubt. And I appreciate y'all having me, man. Really do.
Yes. Yep. Where did that come from? Yep.
That's just some hip hop stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some ad-libbing. You know, you put the music on and all of a sudden, yep. It's your boy Outkast, one man, 7 stories. Yeah.
And we out.
Let the world know the name. Streetball king, bringing pride to the game.